Well, the Flyers pick certainly one of the highlights of the NHL draft. It was the big question mark going in. So Michkov comes in. There's no question about the physical talent. The questions are always, can they get him out of Russia? How long before he can get out? Is he going to want to play here? And I'll tell you that the reason I think that the Flyers felt so comfortable, because unlike other teams, I think they actually, more than analytics or anything, I think they got, when they spoke with him, I think there was a level of comfort that, yes, he wants to play in the NHL. Yes, he wants to play here. I think as much as anything else, Danny Briere got some kind of message through a meeting that this is the guy that they had no doubts about. I was a bit surprised that he didn't go higher, because I thought when Anaheim made their pick, I think it kind of upset a bit of the apple cart on the way things were going to go. But when you look at the Flyers situation, obviously in a bit of a rebuilding situation here in Philadelphia, they don't have as much concern about how long it's going to take them to get out of Russia, to come over here, to get ready to play here. So I think that they were comfortable with that. And I think after meeting with him, they were comfortable that those question marks were answered. It's a difficult thing now, dealing with Russian players, with what's gone on in the geopolitical world, if you will. But I think they felt they do have a scout in Russia, the Flyers, one of the few teams that has somebody on, boots on the ground there to get in and kind of look that way. So I think this was a great pick long term, and a real good pick in terms of, when you look at this team, how many times I've done post-game live and say, geez, they don't have guys with hands, they don't have finishers. Well, this guy certainly got hands, and certainly he's going to be a finisher in this league. So the Flyers, I think, made a really, really important pick for their future in this draft, and one that not only Flyers fans, but I think a lot of teams are going to be looking at this from years to come and say, boy, were we right or wrong with our worries about this guy, especially if you had that chance to pick ahead where they could have got a player like this. And I know the Washington Capitals lurking behind. I know that they wish he was there for them to kind of take the place of Ovechkin when Ovechkin's finally done.
So what does he bring in his game? Like, what can the Flyers fans expect?
Flyers fans can expect now, for these next year at least, or a year or two, you're going to have to see this on highlights from international play. What you're going to find is a guy with a very, very, when you watch finishability, I guess as you would call it, to be able to go in and make a play, to go in and make a play on a defenseman, to create his own shot, if you will, and to be a playmaker to set other people up. So when you look at it in context of, okay, Gautier's supposedly coming after this year from BC, you would presume they have some players like that coming in, but he's a guy that you're going to look to, the game breaker at the end. Maybe in the future, when you have those shootouts that have been so dastardly for Flyers, if it's even a part of the game in the future, you've got a guy who say, oh, I can't wait. That's a guaranteed goal right there.
One more of a general draft. What's the biggest surprise of the NHL draft in the first 7 picks?
Well, the biggest surprise to me was, Anaheim's pick. You go with, Anaheim's pick was a little bit unusual to me, in that they don't go with Fantilli. And then, Arizona to get a defenseman that a lot of people had ranked a lot lower. And again, I think when you look at this draft, like I'm looking at it in terms of the next couple of years, but I guess when you're Arizona and you're looking at, God knows where you're going to be, what building, what's going to happen there, you've got to buy some time. And there is obviously a well-designed school of thought that you build out from your defense. So I suppose that the defenseman went as high as he did there. For me, I like the skill players. I think that's the way. When you look at this team, with the way the league is going, the scoring, the playmaking ability of young guys coming up, the guys like Hughes and his brother in New Jersey, guys like that. That's where I think that future is. The outlier, again, Lou Lamoriello with the Islanders building the old way, and they've certainly had success. But I think for the most part, you just got to have those. You got to have those sweet mittens, and the Flyers got some right now.